couldn't like focus on anything else until they spit out that they saw you. Oh, today. Is that you mean today? So I got the horse treatment.
So years ago or recently?
It was hanging over to the strings flip the switch. Great all year long. Yeah, she's trained.
We packed everything up in like a January, February.
And
What was there that was
like
uh,
yeah, maybe. So I did like okay. So I was like, well, that's a shame. I hope things heal differently. It did with me. It's like, no, absolutely. Like you're doing so well, really like that. So he just walks out. Oh, yeah. Okay. See you Tuesday. That's who he could not focus on anything until he spit out. He saw Mr. Morris. What's that? They're fun to touch. I love them. They're freaking. I threw my baseball stuff in the bag and threw it in the trunk and after school right before I came over to your place. I had a baseball for Christmas day. You stole it all in. Yep. Mm-hmm. What, to go to Edinburgh? Still with us. So he and I had a catch, tossed the pillow around. With the white message on there, showing how to throw a knuckle. A happy dancer. Different way throwing Uncle Charlie. Good stuff. He's a nice kid. Tom Brady. Can't get out of bed. Can't get out of bed. His parents leave for work and he rolls back over. I talked to his mom yesterday for 45 minutes with you. She goes, he's so stupid. Oh, I'm like, this is why you and I get along with Masterelli. So funny. Everything like what you said, 12th grader. Yeah. Said about the 12th grader. Sold it short. call also. He asked me to go with him over to Wawa and say, hey, we're going to Paris. We're in Turkey Falls for well, but he's like, no, I'm paying for it. I'm like, oh, he's like, I got you.
That's what he would always say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's what?
he's over like he's retired, but he comes back. I had him run for so long. No, Steve, you're in trouble.
Incognito. I like to have him sitting up here like an offensive line. Yeah. Yeah. If I would do Night Academy, I guess these other academy. I don't know. I don't have one. That's what I was asking. Oh, but a cyber kid, it's by their home school. And look to see. If you don't mind, that's great. But yeah, some other time when it's when everybody's hair isn't on fire. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you. So I have a text from Dr. Weiner Larry, thank you for, seriously. Figure it out. I'm not, I just want to make sure I have stuff to fill in, stuff for my teachers. Usually good, right? That's why I wasn't sure, like, it's gonna be a point where I'm not playing like my program special card. I wanna get it, I wanna get it right. We'll get it right. Yeah, I know. Sure, what am I doing? Yep. Like Gray's boys soccer, is that what we're doing first? So you're doing the stuff. Let me just tell him.
Yeah, and I'll get them out of here.
This meeting will come to order. Good evening and welcome to the November 17, 2022 meeting of the Southeast Delco Board of School Directors. May you please stand and salute the flag and have a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Butler, may we have a roll call, please?
Yes, you may, Madam President. Mrs. Abney?
Present.
Ms. Perry?
Present.
Ms. Monroe Whitsett?
Present.
Mrs. Peter Coey?
Present.
Ms. Woodfolk?
Present.
Mrs. Washington?
Present.
Mr. Fowler, excused. Ms. Crawley?
Present.
Ms. Harris Johnson?
Present.
Dr. Winder?
Present.
Mr. DiOrio?
Present.
Mr. Butler, present. Ms. Hanif?
Present.
And Mr. Frazier?
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Butler. I do want to inform you, we did have some executive sessions. October the 27th, 2022, on personnel and legal matters. November 3, 2022, on personnel and legal matters. November 10, 2022, on personnel and legal matters. And also today, November 17th, on personnel and legal matters. We are pleased to have our student representatives present tonight. They will introduce themselves again and present their reports.
Good evening. My name is Omnia Al-Hanif.
Good evening, I am Nathan Frazier. On November 7th, the Southeast Delco Gifted Program attended the Liberty Medal ceremony at the National Constitution Center. The Liberty Medal is awarded annually to those who honor and have gone above and beyond to secure liberty for people worldwide. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky was awarded this Liberty Medal for his commitment to safety and protection of his country. He was chosen this year due to his resilient leadership in response to the Russian invasion and attacks in February of 2022. His courage has earned him his countless support and awards from around the world. I would like to share with you some words from one of our students who attended this event. I have never been to a Liberty Medal event before, so this was a new experience. The Ukrainian and American anthems were sung by a choir of Ukrainian children. Many important people spoke, and while, to my disappointment, Zelensky was not there in person or on Zoom, he spoke through a recorded video message. Overall, it was a very interesting experience for me. I was never once bored, and I was very captivated by everything that was happening. The Liberty Medal ceremony was definitely a worthy experience.
On November 9th, the AP Bio students went on a field trip to the Abraham Pediatric Research Center at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. The students met with different scientists from 2 different labs at the research center and participated in many hands-on activities. The scientists all spoke about the paths that led them into research, and the students appreciated that. This trip was an incredible experience that opened up possible future opportunities for students interested in the sciences. During this month, winter sports such as girls and boys basketball, wrestling, and indoor track began practicing for the upcoming season.
On November 15th, a class ring assembly was held in the auditorium for the class of 2024. Students received information about class rings and how to purchase them from the Jostens Ring Company. Jostens Ring Company will revisit our school on November 29th for those who missed it.
Today, November 17th, Academy Park held a college and career fair for the senior class. Altogether, there were 19 colleges and trade schools, as well as the National Guard and the Marines. Seniors were allowed 20 minutes to visit with the college and career representative. This was an excellent opportunity for our seniors to learn about and explore many different options. We hope this event will be offered again.
Tomorrow, November 18th, AP will be holding a fall dance in the gymnasium. This dance is for students in all grades and is sponsored by the class of 2023. The dance will be held from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tickets cost $5 and must be purchased prior to the dance by the end of the school day tomorrow.
Some upcoming events include the class of 2023 Dress Up as your Future Career Day. Seniors are encouraged to come into school dressed up in attire for the career they would like to pursue after graduation. On November 29th, Academy Park High School will hold a FAFSA night from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the Academy Park High School Library. Parents and students will have the opportunity to receive help in completing the steps for the FAFSA application. On Friday, December 2nd, Academy Park High School students will be able to begin attending school clubs during the roundtable period.
With that, this concludes our student report.
Thank you. Students, if you want to stay, as I say, every week, every month, you can, or you can leave and go home and do your wonderful homework that you're so excited to do. And thank you for such wonderful reports you always give each month. Dr. Winder, do you have a superintendent's report?
At this time, I am going to ask Mr. Hooven, the Assistant Principal and Athletic Director of Academy Park High School, to come with a celebration announcement.
Good evening, everyone. Mike Hooven, Assistant Principal Athletic Director at Academy Park High School. I was ready to give the address. So I have two more positive things to talk about with Academy Park High School, and I think it's well worth it to mention. Although we had every season be positive for the fall, we had two teams that represented the Del Val in the utmost respect and also in the win column. Our boys soccer team won the Del Val championship, and our girls tennis team won the Del Val championship. So I just want to share something from each coach, and then I'm going to bring them up here, get T-shirts, and then we have a shirt, one each for the board members as well. So for the boys soccer team, this was the first soccer team in history of Academy Park to beat Penwood twice in one season. The soccer team had a winning record of 7-1-6. The team scored more than 26 goals in the Del Val and only conceded 7 goals in the Del Val. The highest goal scorer on the team was Alex Willie, with close to 20 goals, with the streak of scoring in every game he played in. Freshman Amadou Diarra, who hasn't missed a beat all season, playing in the defense under the wing of his brother Belou Diarra. Captain Zach, Belou, and Alexandre with great leadership, showing up wherever they are needed by the team. Giovanni Giahagan played in 2 sports in the fall. He was not only on the boys soccer team, but he was also the kicker for the football team. Alvin Deegan was the second highest goal scorer with a dozen and with a dozen of assists. Alvin is interested in going to the LaSalle University after high school. Alvin was also offered a free scholarship and invited to play at the collegiate level. Amir, and I'm going to say Amir O, who is the goalkeeper, is currently signed under the Philadelphia Union soccer team. So lots of great things from our boys soccer program. So now I'm just going to announce their names. They all couldn't make it, which I understand. If they're here, they're going to come up with their T-shirts, and then my helpers will pass around T-shirts as well. So Amadou Diarra, Belou Diarra, Giovanni Geohagen, Cameron Chambers, Alvin Deegan, Alexi Pine, Jaden Perdell, Zach Jayad, Rudy Mesidor, Alexandre Kazadi, Mark Wukulu, Bangale Kroma, Lawrence Buigabo, Bashiro Sandy, John Mazare, or goes by Noah, and Mujib Lawal. Head coach, Derek, and assistant coach, Ibrahim. So coaches too. So come up here. Come up here. And then hold up your shirts to the back. If we want, I would like to get a picture of each team too with you guys, if that's okay. Show up your shirts with the Del Val champs on the back. Thank you. And Mr. Moores and Mr. Silva will help pass out shirts. take, oh, it's his phone?
You're welcome. You want me to take him with your phone
No,
now?
that's all right. What's your phone
What's the
number?
next coach?
'Cause I'm, yep.
577 0375.
I'm gonna text you because I want some pictures.
I got you.
Okay, all right, perfect, thanks. You good? Does Steve have the rest? And I do want to thank the board and administration. All of your support, helps the students and their experiences with the sport. So thank you so much. So as they're passing out the shirts too, and they're almost done here. Thank you, my helpers. So our girls tennis program, coached by Mr. Day, who taught me in middle school. Sorry, Mr. Day. So I'm going to say a few words about that Coach Day had gave me. The girls did an outstanding job this year, thanks in small part to great senior leadership, believing in the team motto, one more step, one more shot, play for each other, play with pride, and win with class. So the tennis team finished with an overall record of 9-4 and 5-1 in the Del Val League. I was a little worried when Coach Day told me that he had the one loss to a Del Val team, but he actually said, "We'll get them the next time. We'll get them. We'll get them." So the kids won the trifecta, capturing the league singles and doubles championships and the team title for the 10th consecutive year. And and the girls on the team gave Mr. Day his 700th career win after 54 years as a tennis coach. So I'm going to call the girls' tennis team up with Coach Day, and great job, young ladies. I do want to add one more thing about, and it's with a lot of our athletes. So I would do academic eligibility each week, and the amount of young ladies on this tennis team with straight A's every week was unbelievable. So not only on the field or on the court, also in the classroom. All right, so here we go. Marie Bukasa. Come on up. Destiny Conway. Elizabeth Ibigbola. Kadi Keys. Brooklyn McNeely. Joy Ajayi. Charlene Quay. Amelia Bukasa. Belinda Kusi. Faith Larkin. Isi Usagi. Sanaa Rogers. Sandra Stokes. And Shania Robinson. And last but not least, Coach Day. Come on up.
Coach.
What size do you want? Give him one and then you can trade it in later. And you see on the back of their shirts, it says, "Way to go, 10 in a row." Good. Thank you, ladies. Good job.
I know that the teams are leaving the room, but I wanted to say congratulations to all of them, on all the teams. I think they did an excellent job, keeping their grades up, moving forward. Congratulations. Yep. And now we're going to do the approvals. Do I have a motion to approve the November 17, 2022 agenda as submitted? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes for the October 22, 2022 regular board business meeting?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Madam President,
Yes.
that minute date was 10/27/22?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
October 27, 2022 regular board business meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
Motion. Second. Madam President, point of order.
Yes.
So I want to go back to the minutes for November 3rd. For item number 4, it didn't state the question that was in here, it just states what they were talking about. So, for instance, I have for, low-income families, what does that mean? One is hoodie and staff, what hoodie and staff, what hoodie, what staff? Communication right, security, what? Communication right and hoodies.
We need your mic, Ms. Whitsett.
I'm sorry. So I'm sorry, it's a point of order, because I had comments about the motion, but it wasn't asked. So we have to go back under Robert's Rules of Order. So I'm talking about, on item number 1, the board meeting, November 3rd. It says public comments. All this, one said low-income families, what does that mean? Hoodies, staff, what does that mean? Communication, riot, security, what does that mean? Finance, what does that mean? Student safety, what about student safety? And it goes on and on and on. So the suggestion for board and parents, what was the suggestion for the board and parents? So I just need a point of clarity in just that part of the meeting.
Ms. Monroe, what minutes were you referring to?
The ones that were sent to us in email, November the 3rd. This is the first time we received the minutes before the meeting, so.
So when we brought up to look at one of the policies about the meetings, in the policy, it said that minutes should be distributed a day or two beforehand. It was the first time we had heard of it, but since it was in the policy, then they started to send them to make sure that that was covered.
So I think
However,
that's why Ms. Perry kept asking for reports and stuff before the meeting. That was
So-
brought to the board's attention a couple months ago.
So you're,
And my suggestion was to make a Google Doc for the board, so y'all wouldn't have to send out all these emails to board members. You could just drop them in there, and there'd be a responsibility of the board to actually go into our Google Doc suite. Like, you know how they have classrooms for the teachers? In addition, okay. So in Google Classroom, you can have a classroom for the board members, and so that you don't have to send it to individual people. I mean, I know people want paper, but they still get the opportunity to get the information, like you just stated, before the meeting.
yeah, but this wasn't about the reports that she was asking for, which are the committee of the whole reports.
But you could put them all in the same thing, that's
I
what I'm
know,
saying.
but I'm just clarifying, because I don't want to confuse people. This was about that the agenda minutes that have been being for years just attached on the time.
Board
It was-
docs. Mhm.
Yeah, it was saying that you all are supposed to be getting them, so, in reading that over,
Yeah.
I saw that, whether it was been happening before or not, I felt that once I became aware of it, it needed to happen.
Right, so I thank you for that,
Yeah.
because it has been brought to other people's attention as well, before you and before Mr. Butler came, that this should be happening, but until now, this is, so I appreciate it.
So I'll have her know, because the other thing is, she's following what was established, and it was
Right.
usually whatever the title on the card was,
Okay,
Right.
is
That's what I was
what
gonna
was
say.
put, so
Thank
what
you.
you see there is she's putting
with the
the
title.
title of the
Okay,
card.
perfect, thank
Okay.
you. And then, just to make things easier, I don't know if she's individually sending stuff out to members or just did a group thing, but if you guys make it like a Google Classroom for board members, and if you put folders in there and just put it by the month and stick everything in there, then it's up to the board members to do their due diligence as an elected official to actually read their minutes. And I think that'd be much more easier, because once you get it, you can just throw it straight in there. Thank you.
Mr. Butler and Ms. Wheeler work towards that.
So thank you. That's the only clarity I needed for that one. That's all, thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. The minutes that we are approving are the October 27, 2022 regular board business meeting and November 2nd, 2022 emergency board business meeting.
So is it November 2nd or
The
November
third.
3rd?
Third.
So,
Is the second? Wait,
so it's just a suggestion that I make so I move that we amend the minutes for the Thursday. So I move that we amend the minutes for the the emergency board meeting on November
Second.
2nd. So there's a motion on the
Right,
floor currently.
yes.
I second it.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Whitsett.
One more motion, because we did approve this agenda. I move that we amend the current agenda as well for the date from November 2nd to November 3rd.
But it was the
November
second.
2nd.
It is
Was the
November
second.
2nd.
The minutes that had to be fixed, yeah.
So I rescind my motion.
Are there any questions on the bills? Hearing none. Do I have a motion to approve the bills for payment in the amount of $4,606,050.69?
It's $4,608,050.69.
Thank you.
Second.
The amount that's on the paper is $4,608,000.
$50.69.
$4,608,050.69.
Right.
Someone had said $80,000. That's why I went back to that.
606 instead of 608.
Okay, so $4,608,050.69. Great.
Thank you. Now we're going to do, oh,
It was motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Questions on new business items? Are there any questions on education, item 1 through 9? Are there any, there are no finance items. Are there any questions on human resources, 1 through 18? Under policy, are there any questions on policy number, item number 2? Because item number 1, that would be policy number 6 that we want to put back on the table, and it would be a second reading during our December board meeting. Policy number 903.
Isn't it number 2? 903, right?
Yeah.
It's 903, you said number 1, okay, thank you.
Well, you did say
It's number 1, meaning the number here, under policy, you have number 1 and you have number 2. So I was saying that the number 1 under the policy is where we're making the changes. And the number 2 is on table policy 903. There are no property items. Are there any public comments regarding agenda items?
Are we gonna do old business? Because the old business is before the new business on the agenda.
Okay.
While we're looking at that, I have a question about number 7 under education.
Okay.
But we could table that until we, and start with old business if you like.
Okay, on the old business, that would be some of the things that we discussed that we wanted to bring up. Okay.
We have a couple of things that we wanted to follow up from some of our meetings that we've had at Academy Park. We did have some questions about discipline, the discipline process, and how we would be moving forward. And our discipline policies that we cover are policy number 218 and policy number 233 are the discipline policies. We also have created, prior to any of this, a discipline committee, and they created a discipline matrix for consequences. and that was completed this summer. And in either our committee or the whole, or our or our regular public meeting, Dr. Ryan shared what the current existing matrix said for hoodies, and then we talked about how we would move forward from there. So we pulled that from our discipline matrix. But as a result of everything that has occurred in the last couple of weeks, one of the things that we have done, Mr. Hooven, our assistant principal, is now stationed in the auditorium, and their students that refuse to obey the policy about hoodies, hats, or roaming the hallways, the security are escorting them directly to him, and parents are being contacted. Violation 1 is a 1-day suspension. Violation 2 is another suspension. Violation 3 is another suspension. Then there's a parent contact, and then because at the fourth one, they will be placed in alternative placement. That is for the high school only. That is not for our K-8 buildings. And so Dr. Ryan has been, we heard it stated that there were so many referrals that had not been processed. Dr. Ryan and I met today. He has been inputting all of those referrals into Swiss. He is up to October 21st, so everything for the end of September through October 21st has been entered, and his projection is that by next week, he will have entered them all. However, we do know we only have a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, so I'm going to say, let's say an extension till the week after the Thanksgiving break, just to be sure that we have that in. And then from there, the high school will manage the path forward from there. About discipline, I met with the high school, and Mr. Hooven was able to say there's only one student that has reached a consequence of 3 times being an offender. And then there were a couple of offenders that have reached 2 times for either hat, hoodie, or roaming the halls. But for everyone else, there's only been 1 incident in total. So, progress is being made with the students adhering to the rules. We are also grateful to the parents that when Mr. Hooven has contacted them, they have taken ownership for the students' behavior. So the discipline process being revamped at this time is being productive. Any questions about the discipline? There were several questions about the maintenance process and procedures, specifically in regard to cleaning of bathrooms and floors, different things like that. Mr. Curry emailed me and said that there are several ways a student, staff, or administrator can report issues in the buildings. It can be brought to the attention of the custodian, and this is through the main office secretary or building administrator. If the custodian cannot rectify the issue, then a work order is issued for a request. Then the building secretary or custodian would submit the request through their FMX process. And then all work orders are reviewed daily, and Mr. Curry then assigns them to the appropriate personnel. If there is an emergency, it will be expected that a building administrator, custodian, secretary, or mechanic person would contact the facilities office directly. And the custodians do walkthroughs to look for anything that may be happening throughout today to rectify it for that time. In the event that someone sees something, they really should contact the main office would be the quickest way, and the custodian does have a radio so that he or she can be radioed there. And are there any questions?
Dr. Wonder, I have a question.
Mhm.
With regard to protocols for cleaning the bathrooms, are you aware of the number of times they clean the bathrooms on, as far as their contract is concerned?
So,
Requirements?
I know at the
Per
end,
day.
yeah, at the end of the day, of course, the bathrooms are clean to start out fresh the next morning. And then at that point, intermittently throughout the day, there's supposed to be bathroom checks. Mr. Curry does have a schedule of that. I don't have that right in front of me. No. Mhm. Other questions? We did have a question about clubs. And Mr. Vogt had stated at the Committee of the Wholes that clubs would be during the day due to staff and students' ability to stay after school and have supervision of the clubs. This is slated to start in early December. And so for now, this school year, clubs will continue in the manner that Mr. Vogt has planned. And then as other issues like shortages or things like that are rectified, we can open up a different plan for the following school year.
Dr. Reiner, these
Yes.
clubs, are they supplemental clubs?
I don't think that they're supplemental because it's during the workday already. It's already during the school workday, so they're already being paid.
So can we make sure that they're not getting their supplemental pay as well?
Okay, Mr. Vogt and Mr. Baxter, can we make sure that we stay on top of that and communicate to continue to ensure that we do due diligence? Thank you, Ms. Monroe. What's that? Any other questions?
Thank you, Dr. Wander. Now we're doing, are there any public comments regarding agenda items?
One. Michelle Giangulio?
Wait, one second. Dr. Reiner, how about communication?
That one was in, I had down on here.
I actually have a comment about the communication, as it relates to the board.
That's what this, I had down that was among board members, what they had talked about up there, that this one was for.
Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about from the emergency meeting on November the 2nd.
Okay,
The parents, constituents, students, the communication piece as the board talked about that.
and can you tell me what the question about it is?
Okay, the question was, the communication was lacking or none whatsoever.
Okay, okay, in regard to when they had early dismissal, is that
Just in communication in general, that's what.
communication in general? So I know that Mr. Vogt has, at this time, been issuing all calls, sharing out information, really almost daily. I've been getting some, so I can say he heard loud and clear that the parents wanted more communication. In our meeting today, he discussed devising a plan to communicate out to the parents because we talked about parent volunteering to help in various areas, because we did hear loud and clear that parents said that they wanted to step up and to assist. So at this time, he and his team are going to be talking about a plan that they will disseminate of contacting parents to see who is really available to help volunteer. The other thing that I said to him, that part of that plan needs to also have in their orientation, because when you are assisting and volunteering, you may not always be able to function in the way that you would in your own household. So we want to make sure that when we are bringing people in to assist and to volunteer, that they are following the guidelines and the rules, so that we don't end up with more issues because someone did something that was against the grain of what needs to happen in a school. Any other questions?
I have a couple.
Yes, ma'am.
I think it was one of the last meetings, we talked about a follow-up with the police chief. I'm not
Yes.
sure if we got a report or any, like, follow-up with that. Were you able to follow up?
We did have a meeting with all four chiefs at one time. And that information was shared in executive session because a lot of that discussion is executive session discussion.
Okay.
And our
but-
meeting we
no,
were
no,
gonna have a
I
monthly
think I answered
meeting.
that question, too.
We were gonna have a monthly meeting yesterday. However, I needed to go to Sharon Hill, so we rescheduled. But we've set a meeting for every third Wednesday at 9 a.m. to meet, and to have more of a dialogue and to have a partnership with all four boroughs.
Okay.
Ms. Shalishi, so the chief of police don't want to meet with any board members.
Okay, why you say that? You've heard that or followed up about it?
I followed up on my part because I didn't like the fact that my name was thrown out there as if I could call SWAT
Mm-hmm,
from 59th and Race.
okay.
So when I contacted some of the chiefs, and when they didn't get back to me, I contacted someone else to contact the chiefs for me, and they responded to them, and they want nothing to do with the school board. They only want to talk to Dr. Winder or Dr. Ryan.
Okay, so,
They didn't tell me that, so.
okay. I bring it up because there were some issues of police brutality during the time, and I'm not sure if, we discussed or followed up about that.
We discussed the feelings of the community, and some of them also were present at our special meeting. When we had it the very next day, that Wednesday, the 2nd, some of them were present in the audience.
Right, I'm not talking about them being present, though. I'm talking about the student there's a video of the student being hurt, and how was that handled, is my question.
So at that point, no, I have no jurisdiction. I can only express the feelings, and I expressed what Senator Williams and I discussed as well. But I don't have any jurisdiction to handle.
Oh, no, that's not what I mean. No, I guess what I'm asking, did the parent of the student, do you know if there was a report or anything made?
I do not.
Okay,
And I
okay.
have not heard from that parent myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
My other concern is about substitutes. We have, as we all know, a lot of teachers who are not present, and subs are not considered teachers, but they should be teaching, right? When our teachers aren't present, our, regularly scheduled teachers. How are we going to handle ensuring that our students are learning whether their regular teachers are present or not?
So one of the things that we've been working on and working out with the union, we had one MOU that the board approved for one specific subject, and now we've started discussing, which we will be able to tie up loose ends on, hopefully on Monday, when we meet with the union, of a different plan that the SDEA has proposed to us to pay for not only covering the lesson plans, but covering the class, as well as grading the papers.
Okay, so there's a meeting coming up to
There's a meeting
finalize
this
the
Monday.
plan? Okay, great, thanks.
To try to work out the kinks.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Number 7.
No, I'm
Good.
good.
All
I'm
right,
good on
I
that.
do, too.
Okay, go ahead.
Did we have a price for that? Did I miss, did we go over price for number 7? The education, sorry. Smart boards.
He talked about it in, committee
can't
of the
remember.
whole, and then it was supposed to be attached. I don't know. Is this attached?
Yeah, so this item was attached to the board agenda. These 7 smart boards, got that right? Yes, are being located at Knights Academy. The cost is $38,864, and this is state bid pricing.
Thank you.
Mr. Butler, does this come out of the ESSER's money? Would this be one of the ones that could come out of ESSER's?
Yeah, it possibly can. As I've reported before, if there are areas where we can charge the technology, and it would be ESSER's 2 to close it out, or ESSER's ARP at this point. We can certainly do that. The money for the 7% set aside is not carved out for technology purchases.
So,
Thank you.
can I get you all to, we've kind of jumped. After I gave, old business, I was supposed to do this card, and we jumped down into new business. Okay, sorry about that, Ms. Julio, you can come.
Hello, Michelle Giangilio, teacher at Knight Academy. I wanted you to know that this is the 3rd time I've come before you this year to talk about staffing. Nothing has changed in our building. We have not included any more teachers. In fact, we even lost a teacher that was transferred over to the high school. And before I come to you with this kind of thing, I want you to know that as a building, our building works as a team. And we work together to solve any issue together. Anything we can do in our power. But we've come to a point where it's out of our power. We can't do what our kids need. We can't, they have some mental health needs, and they're not being addressed because we don't have a guidance counselor. We don't have any security. We don't have the 7th and 8th grade teacher. All right, so none of that has changed. So what I'm hoping for is that there is a change soon. I just want to keep bringing it to your attention that we do need this. And our kids they're stressed. They're having a hard time because they just don't have the communication they need. They need to talk to people, but we're teaching, and so we're not really available to do that. We're just low on adults. Okay, so I'm just hoping maybe that'll get solved soon.
Okay, so Mr. Baxter, you had a plan in place. I think you communicated to Mr. Silva of when those teachers that were transferring over. Have you and Mr. Silva had that communication?
Who's coming now? Yes.
Yes, so they are
Okay,
on the
now I
way.
need to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
We also announced that we had gotten the grant to be able to have a SRO shared between you and Harris. I did speak to the chief of Collindale in regard to that, and they are responsible for the hiring process, and then we're responsible to, then of course, because they have to pick someone that would be appropriate to be a police officer, and then we approve that they can be in the building. So they are in the process for that, and several of your teachers are on their way. There's a plan, and the administrators have worked that out.
Okay, and I appreciate that, but I want you to know where I'm coming from.
Okay.
Because last year, there was a woman hired to come to our building in the fall, but she never made it in the building. And a whole year went by, and they were not able to, because she was an internal, okay, they weren't able to fill that position, so she never made it. So I sincerely hope all of this comes through, but I'm just looking at what has happened in the past. And I'm just basically crossing my fingers and hoping.
Well, and I respect that,
Yeah.
and I spoke against that, and the administrators can tell you that they received a directive that if those teachers were going to another district, we would not have that power, and that we're not gonna do that to the alternative program as well. And so the transition is in process. I respect the fact that because you felt like, you know, you never got it last year, that it's gonna give you some anxiety. But I also agreed with that and felt that never should have happened, and put something in place to try to keep it from happening this time.
Why, thank you for that.
Okay?
So that woman who did not get that position, was not able to step into our building, she did leave the district. So it's just part of the circle of what the issues are that are plaguing us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. You all can go back to new business.
Okay. New business voting. Do I have a motion to approve education items 1 through 9?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve human resource items 1 through 18?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve policy items 1 and 2?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. County Community Committee reports. Ms. Woodfolk, do you have a report on the Delaware County Community College?
Yes, we do have a meeting on December the 7th. So after that, I will have more information for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Monroe, do you have a report of the Delaware County Intermediate Unit?
None at this time.
Thank you. Mr. Fowler is not here. Ms. Rebecca Perry.
You want to read the committee name first? No.
Do I have a report, do you have a report on the Parent-Student Advisory Committee?
Yes, Madam President, real brief. So we haven't had a committee meeting since October 19th, and if you did miss it, you can watch the full meeting on the district's YouTube page. And you can also see the full report of that meeting also on the district YouTube page if you watched last month's school board meeting dated October 27th. By next month's board meeting, we will share the date of the next meeting, which will most likely be the end of January or early February. And we are still interested in getting some feedback on topics that parents and teachers or even students would like to have shared. So you can email those to me or the entire board. We're completely open to suggestions. And that is all, Madam President. Thank you.
Ms. Perry, I do have a suggestion. Advocacy for parents.
So do you mean how parents can advocate for their students? Is that what you're, okay,
Yes.
yes, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to send you some scholarship information as well, Ms. Perry, for you to share with the parents.
Scholarships?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Are there any more questions for Ms. Perry? Mr. Diori, do you have a solicitor's report?
Not this evening, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Is there an administrative update?
Not at this time.
Thank you. Are there any public comments regarding non-agenda items?
Not at this time.
Thank you. Now we're going to announce the future meetings of the board.
Madam President, I have a question. I just want to make sure, because I know at the special meeting that there were some issues with certification, placing individuals in content areas that they were not certified in and/or not comfortable with and/or had no idea what they were doing. So I'm just hoping that the individuals that were moving and/or being hired are being hired under the guidance of the PD certification that they have or are trying to obtain.
They are, and there have been a couple that, emergency certs have come before me and Mr. Baxter. He notifies me daily, and we actually take care of them that day. We get our communication from PDE about the steps, and we've been following those as well.
Okay, I was just talking about the gentleman who said that he had been placed in the special ed class, but he's not special ed certed. So that's why I was just asking that question. That was
Okay.
during a special meeting.
Yeah, I recalled, because I checked about that too.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Announcing future meetings of the board. Committee of the whole meeting is Thursday, November. Committee of the whole meeting is,
December 5th.
she's got the wrong date. See,
No. So,
she's got this thing.
okay, so just what Madam President is referring to, it's a board organization meeting.
Organization meeting.
Board organization meeting, that's Monday, December 5th. Her notes are incorrect, so I just wanted to help her on that one.
Thank you
So
very
the
much.
board organization meeting is Monday, December 5th, 2022 at 6 PM. And then the board business meeting is Thursday, December 15th, 2022 at 7 o'clock PM.
Thank you, Mr. Butler.
One more. Mr. Butler, can you have, or can you or somebody go check Knights Academy about the cleanliness of it?
Sure.
Thank you. So move.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned. There will be an executive session immediately following this meeting.